In this Sailing Doodles, we get approached and contacted by the U.S. Navy and continue with our endless repairs. This channel is made possible by our patrons. Thank you. In the last video, we rounded Cape Hatteras. In this video, we head to Wilmington. We stop in Charleston for some repairs and then continue south. This season of Sailing Doodles features Taylor and Bobby as we set sail with Maverick and Goose for the Caribbean. Nice night on anchor here. Felt pretty good. It's pretty choppy out there, but this boat really doesn't move much even in the chop. I'll show you the chop out there. But it does make for getting the dogs off and on the dinghy a little challenging. Because the system I have, I showed you the one thing and how it works for the first time I did it. I haven't filmed them doing it since. They're a lot better at it now, but it's pretty choppy out there. And so the dinghy's moving up and down, like that. It's kind of hard to get them. I may have to, rethink my dog loading. Yesterday was a 34-hour sail. How'd you like the sail?
It was good. It was good. I was a little sick and woozy just because the waves and we were motoring most of the time, but I enjoyed it. It was beautiful, having my first night sail and seeing the stars without any light pollution and stuff.
Today we're only gonna go 60, 70 miles, so 10, 12 hours. If it was just us, we'd just go all the way to Charleston, 30-something hours, let's go. But Maverick does fine. He's already peed on the boat. Goose is having a harder time with it. He's not as athletic. It was a gray day as we headed south. What's going on?
Well, we've got a Navy ship kind of on a bit of a collision course with us. I don't really know what I should be doing, but...
So I think there's, it's not an aircraft carrier, but I saw a bunch of helicopters landing on a really big Navy ship over there. It's not showing up on AIS, and they have this little, I don't even know what kind of ship it is, but it looks like they're on an intercept course with us. We finally got an answer there. They called us on the radio. I didn't see it. There's they have this, occasional restricted area. It's not restricted all the time, just when they're doing live fire exercises. Well, they're doing a live fire exercise over there with the bigger ships. So we just have to turn about 30 degrees to port. Go about a mile out, and then we can continue back onto our destination just to get outside. They said they're almost finished, but and then the area will be open again, but whatever. When the wind all but died, we put down the sails to motor in. Maverick was adapting well to his life on board. There's a drain right next to their grass mat, so it made it easy to hose it off. That evening at anchor, Taylor was working on her boat yoga skills, although I'm not sure she was successful. Wrightsville Beach, which is right next to Wilmington, is a pretty cool town, although I wish we had more time to explore, but we had to keep heading south. What are we doing?
We're following our track out of here. And you're trusting me at the helm, apparently.
Yep. Well, I don't know where you're going, but no, I'm kidding. All right, we are leaving Wrightsville. Really cool place. I wish we could stay here longer, but we got a good weather window to get down to Charleston. So we're doing that. It's 24 hours, we think, down to Charleston, and there's weather coming in after that, so we'll spend four or 5 days there, and then keep on. From there, this should be our last overnight sail, mainly for the dog's sake. I don't know, we'll see how Goose does. If we can get Goose to start peeing on the mat, that'd be great. If not, then we'll have to keep doing day sails. But if we can get him to start peeing on the mat, then we can do a couple longer jumps down to Fort Lauderdale instead of just day sails, but we'll see. So it's not It's not super rough out here, but it's not like it has been. It's blowing 20 plus knots. We're doing 8 knots. It's awesome. 7.5, 8 knots. But when it's a little rough like this, the dog, Maverick and Goose, Maverick does okay, but Goose gets a little apprehensive. I think Taylor does too. How you doing?
Fine.
How you feeling?
Fine. A little woozy. Only because we just had lunch. And now it's gonna come up.
Uh-oh.
No, I haven't actually puked yet. I should be fine. Just takes me some time.
She hasn't puked yet, but we've only been sailing for like 30 minutes today in this, so we'll see how she does after 3 more hours. But we got,
sleep.
at this speed, we only have like 20 hours though, so it'll be great. At 8 knots, man, we'll be there in no time at all. Hey boys, y'all ready? Y'all are about ready for land, huh? Alright. I think Taylor is too.
Yeah, definitely.
So how was the last 24 hours?
It was alright. It was like being stuck on a carnival ride. But, you know, it was fine. I slept for a lot of it. You didn't.
No, I hardly slept at all last night. I got like 3 hours of sleep total just because the dogs were a bit, it was pretty rough last night, and the dogs, Goose was not having a good time anyway. He doesn't like it when it's rough. Maverick doesn't care though. He's a trooper. Yeah. We made it into Charleston, which is a good place to do some work on the boat. Basically, it's like a whole series of maintenance Mondays all in one. We're getting close to being finished working on the boat. We have a couple smaller projects, but I think we found the problem to the generator, and thank you to Scott. There's a link below to his information if you're ever in Charleston and need your boat worked on. Really great guy, and he very fair. He came and, you know, took 5 minutes. He's like, oh yeah, there's your problem, and so he didn't even charge us. So I was like, oh wow, that's awesome. But anyway, so this is a little cap on the radiator. If you look in there, there's a tiny little pinhole, and so it was just leaking all the fluid, all the all the coolant out. But so now we'll go make we'll make a little cap, and we're good to go. I could buy a $20 part from Northern Lights and have it shipped, or just make one with a bolt and a piece of hose. Purring like a kitten. Let's hope it stays that way. It's crazy how like a 50-cent part is all it was. 50 cents. Having just replaced the batteries, I wanted to put in a better battery monitor. This is the Victron battery monitor. It's pretty easy to set up. Basically, you just kind of set it up. It comes with a little terminal block here. So you put the ground system, everything goes through this, so it tells you basically how many electrons it's losing, basically. So it tells you how many amps it's been gained or whatever. So it's pretty convenient, because what you can do is you can program and say, okay, I've got a 940 amp hours of battery in there, and it'll tell me you've used 40 amp hours or whatever. So it'll give you a great percentage. This thing right here, the interface for the charger I've got right now, it's great. It's old though. It's 10 years old, 8 years old. Works with the new inverter that I put in. But that only gives me, you know, voltage, and it'll give me, you know, 75%, 50%, but I want something a little more accurate so I can really tell. I really want to thank whoever did the wiring on this. So this little string right here, basically, it's tied to one end right here, and then it goes down, because getting underneath there would be pretty much impossible, and it's tied off under here. And basically, so what I do is I attach the cable that I want to run over there, I tie it to this, and I just pull it from the other side through. Oh man, so easy. Because otherwise, it would have been difficult. This is the part that I'm a little wary of, because now I got to drill into my nice teeth here. But no other way to mount it, so put it on the electrical side there. Doing that to my teeth. Okay. I'll let that cool off before I touch it.
Smells good.
Yeah. There we go. Battery monitor right there next to the other panel. We had a good time here in Charleston, but it's time to head out and get south. It's cold here. The dogs are ready. Taylor's ready.
I'm ready.
And we got some viewers here. Oh, we got some viewers here. We got Ron over here and Ryan over here. Random tuning on dogs. Actually, quite a few viewers here. It's kind of nice seeing you guys.
Yeah, seeing you.
Thanks for the drinks and the meals and all that. It was a lot of fun.
Good. Safe travels.
Yeah, and
Safe
we'll get out of here. You ready, boys? Go for a sail. We go for a sail.
Right as we got off the dock, we were greeted by a pod of dolphins.
Dolphins! This is my first time actually seeing them.
It is kind of cool seeing dolphins out in the wild for your first time. So there they are right there. Look at it.
So we put Charleston behind us in our ever relentless voyage to the Caribbean.
Pretty cool thing about this boat, well now I speak it starts to out, is hey, college football, I can watch it while underway because we got an antenna on top of the mast. LSU, Alabama.
We are excited to announce the Sailing Doodles store is open. There's a link in the show notes or sailingdoodles.com. There's a link there as well. Thank you so much to our patrons. They get 25% off the store.